We might be attached to the sugar industry for sentimental reasons, but nostalgia, I'm afraid, is not a good substitute for efficiency and rationality. So in presenting the overview, I will identify issues which must be addressed to get Guyana to the point of efficiency. One is the condition for sustaining ownership. A second is the challenge to overcome uncontrollable risk factors. And the third is overcoming the imposing financial burden that faces the industry at the moment. The history of sugar production in Guyana tells us that the industry from its inception was always a complex one, troubled repeatedly by the need to find equilibrium between finance, labor, technology, markets, and a scale of production that was large enough to make staying in the industry worthwhile. This reality intensified as sugar cultivation shifted from the riverbanks to the coastland of Guyana. After initial efforts in the upriver areas, it was found that the best place to grow sugar was along the coastland of Guyana. But doing so had natural limitations, which could only be overcome with large amounts of capital investment. When the movement towards coastal production started, it was found that the size of capital investment was influenced, among other things, by the topography of Guyana. The coastland of Guyana was below sea level at high tide, which without adequate protection meant that the land would flood. A complex body of infrastructure consisting of the seawall, dams, drainage canals, and corkers was needed to protect the land from flooding and to assure the cane fields of irrigation. In addition, shifting to the coastland caused sugar producers to encounter different soil types, many of lesser quality than others. The only way to take advantage of the available acreage was to use fertilizer. With a need to prepare the operating coastal space for sugar production, the early investment in sugar required a substantial outlay of capital. In a footnote to a 1988 working paper that he prepared for the International Monetary Fund, Michael DeCosta noted that the large-scale investment that was required to engage in sugar production in Guyana prompted Dr. Eric Williams of Trinidad and Tobago to describe Guyana as a rich man's country. This fact of the need for large capital outlays influenced the ownership structure of the sugar industry in Guyana. It was not possible for a single investor to take control of sugar plantations in Guyana for a very long time. As a consequence, by the time the people of Guyana took control of the industry, the ownership structure was characterized, as noted by DeCosta, by British partnerships or British companies. At the time of nationalization, in 1976, sugar was under monopoly control of a British company that we all know called Booker McConnell Limited, which owned roughly 80% of the industry at the time. Today, the government of Guyana owns the industry. It is the sole investor. But the government does not have unlimited financial resources. And in a global political economy dominated by a liberalist philosophy, is expected to demonstrate prudent financial management of public resources under its control. The government of Guyana faces competing economic priorities. There's the problem of rice. There's the problem of electricity. There's the problem of maternal health care and managing the HIV/AIDS virus. There's the problem of protecting citizens and securing the border. There's the problem of expanding economic opportunities for Guyanese. There is the problem of relieving traffic congestion on the roads of Guyana. All of these and the many other issues which were not mentioned, in my view, make it increasingly difficult for the government to hold on to ownership of the industry, let alone to do so by itself.